This is section 8.3, and let's see if I can, there we go. Section 8.3, and it is about the concept of simple interest. Now, interest is something that you either earn or pay when you save money. You earn a little interest. It's like a bonus for them using your money while they hold on to it. Or you pay it, where you pay it's kind of like a fee for getting to borrow money. The formula for finding interest involves the amount of money, which is the principal. We use principal, we use the letter P, but later on we will probably call it present value. It is the value of the money at the time that the story starts. Rate, which we use letter R, usually lowercase r, and it is an interest rate. It is given as a percent, but you will have to change it to a decimal, and you have practiced that plenty of times. Then there is the time, and we will use lowercase t for that, and it needs to be measured in years. And we will talk about what do we do if they tell us it is a certain number of months or weeks or days. We will look at that. We have here a formula for interest. After that, we will look at future value, and then we will modify the future value formula to solve for the principal, for the rate, or for the time. So what I'd like you to do is maybe pause the video, make sure that you have these things, although you should be able to find them in your yellow packet if you're in a face-to-face class, or in the finance handouts if you're in an online class. Alright, our first question says principal P is borrowed at a simple interest rate, and it is important to notice the word simple, because later on we will look at compound interest, but this is simple interest rate, at a simple interest rate R for a period of time T. Find the simple interest owed for the use of the money. They say assume 360 days in a year, even though we know there are 365. In financial worlds, they use a 360-day value for a year. That may not be needed in the problem. All right, the formula for interest, I is equal to principal times rate times time. In this problem, the principal is $4,000 times the interest rate. Now, we're going to have to change this interest rate to 0.03. Remember, you can't multiply with a percent, you need to change it to a decimal. So it is 0.03 times the time in years, which is 1. So I would go to my calculator, I would type in those numbers to multiply, and I would get $120. And that is the simple interest that you owe. You borrowed $4,000, the interest rate was 3%, you kept that $4,000 for a year, and then you paid back not only the $4,000 but an additional $120. That is the interest. Let's look at number 2. Similar question, same instructions, and I'm supposed to find simple interest owed. So I is equal to P times R times T. The principal is $570. The interest rate is again 0.03. The time in years is 2. Multiply those on your calculator and you will get $34 $2.20. There is less interest because there was less principal. And that is the amount you would pay back in addition to the $570. All right, number 3. Same instructions completely, and I am looking for simple interest owed. I is equal to P times R times T. The principal is $9,000 times the interest rate. If I change that to a decimal, it's 0.045. So 0.045 times 9 months. That is not in years. So what I need to do is think about how many months are in a year. The answer is 12. That is 9/12 of a year. And because of the calculator we're using, you can literally put 9 divided by 12 in the place of the time. When you type that in, and I will go ahead and show that, clear my calculator, and I have 9,000 times 0.045 times 9 divided by 12. The order of operations will move left to right, and that'll be fine. And we get an answer of $303.75. That is more interest. It's mainly because of a very large principal. I do recommend on each problem that you do that you make sure you identify what you're looking for. Principal P is borrowed at a simple interest rate R for a period of time T. Find the simple interest owed, which is I, for the use of the money. So I is equal to, my formula is P times R times T. The principal is given. The interest rate is 0.06. The time says 30 days. Well, that's not in years. So it is 30 divided by the number of days in a year. Financial says use 360. You are welcome to reduce that fraction if you want to, but you don't have to. So that's going to be 11,000 times 0.06 times 30 divided by 360. If I put that in my calculator, I will get $55. And that is the interest. Remember, when you pay back this loan of $11,000 and you notice, well, there's not much interest, but that's because you didn't have it very long. You only had it for 30 days. So you will pay back $11,000 plus $55 in interest. Starting with number 5, the instructions change. It says, the principal P is borrowed at a simple interest rate R for a period of time T. Find the loan's future value A, or the total amount due at time T. Let me go back to where the formulas are. And right here, it talks about future value. Let me talk just a minute about where this formula comes from. They use for future value, they use letter A. Well, they call it the amount sometimes. Later on in a section coming up, we will call it FV for future value. I really think that makes a lot more sense. It is money that the savings account will be used to, or the value of the loan. All right, let's think about it for a minute. You have a loan. So I'm just going to talk for just a minute. You don't have to write this down. You have a loan and you borrow a certain principal. You calculate the interest, and when you add them together, that's the future value. The principal plus the interest you're going to owe together add up to be the future value. Well, let's put in the formula for I. I is equal to PRT. Using a little bit of algebra, you see that there is a P in each one of those. So I will factor it out, and it's P times 1 plus R times T. You don't have to worry about generating that formula because here it is. I just wanted you to know where it comes from. That is the value, that is the formula for future value. If I used my algebra skills and I wanted to solve for P, this is what I would get. If I wanted to solve for R, this is what I would get. And if I wanted to solve for T, this is what I would get. So when I have a problem that asks me for one of those, I will come back and get those formulas as I need them. Oops. Let me get to our question. I believe we are on number 5. Future value. Formula for future value. A is equal to P, open parentheses, 1 plus R times T. I hope you can tell my T's from my pluses. My T's will always have a little tail on them. I have my principal. My rate will be 0.06. My time is 4 years, so I should be able to do this. Principal, 9,000. Open parentheses, the number 1 plus, the interest rate is 0.06 times the time, which is 4 years. And my calculator is going to do the rest, so let me pull it up. I have 9,000, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.06 times 4, close. Okay, let's see what we get. We got $11,160. Now that's the future value. That's the total what you'd have to pay back. Part of that is the $9,000 that you borrowed. The rest of it is interest. I don't know, I mean, I could certainly subtract to get the interest, but this question just asks for loan's future value. Let's look at number 6. Find the loan's future value. I am given principal, interest rate, which will be 0.07, and I'm given the time, which is 3 months, so that's going to be 3 divided by 12, 3/12 of a year. Future value is P times 1 plus R times T. That is 2,000. Open parentheses, 1 plus 0.07 times 3 divided by 12. All right, that looks like a hard thing to do perhaps, but if we put it in our calculator, 2,000, open parentheses, 1 plus 0.07 times 3 divided by 12, close. All right, compare, those look right. Drum roll. I will pay back $2,035. $2,035. Now, this is what I'll pay back. I only borrowed $2,000, so I think in this one it's very obvious that $35 is the interest. Let's look at number 7. Once again, Oh, no, things have changed. You have to be careful and read. It says the principal P is borrowed and the loan's future value A at time T is given. Determine the loan's simple interest rate. I'm looking for R. I will go back, and I hope I can get to this okay, and I'm going to grab this formula. So make sure you have these formulas written down correctly and you're ready to use them. All right, so the formula is R is equal to, open parentheses, A minus P, close, divided by, open parentheses, P times T. If you leave the parentheses off, you will get an incorrect value. Here's my principal. Here's my future value amount. Here's my time in years. I'm looking for the interest rate. This will give me, open parentheses, $2,110 minus P is $2,000, close, divided by, open, P is $2,000 times the time, which is 1 year. Make sure you have parentheses. Put that in your calculator. I may not put all of the rest of them in the calculator, but open parentheses 2110 minus 2,000, close, divided by, open, 2,000 times 1, close. Enter. You get the interest rate. Sorry, it went away very quickly. You get your interest rate as 0.055. 0.055. It's a decimal, just like we always use a decimal in formulas. I need it as a percent. I will move the decimal point 2 places to the right. It is 5.5%. The percent sign's already written for you, but this is percent form. Okay, so it's important that you switch it. You don't have to type the percent sign though. Let's look at number 8. Principal P is borrowed and the loan's future value A at time T is given. Find again the simple interest rate. Okay, so I have everything I need. The rate is equal to A minus P in parentheses divided by, open, P times T. So this is $7,650, that's A, minus 6,000, that's P, divided by, open parentheses, P, which is 6,000, times, time is 5 years. Well, it just is a coincidence that you again get 0.055. That's just a coincidence. That's your decimal, but you need to convert it to percent. It is 5.5%. And that's your answer. All right, our next one. Principal P is borrowed and the loan's future value A at time T is given. Determine the loan's simple interest rate R. Okay, repeat. R is equal to, parentheses, A minus P, close, divided by, P times T. The future value is 3708 minus the present value is 3600, close, divided by present value 3600 times, the time. 6 months will be 6/12 of a year, and you can literally put in 6, let me close that. There we go. Maybe I closed it. All right, that is 6 divided by 12. It's so nice using this calculator that you don't have to worry very much about changing formats. What you would do, my goodness, I keep touching things, making